When you look back to your Manchester United days, which was when you first got involved with Unicef, why them over all the other charities? Because I imagine you must have been bombarded with requests from everybody who'd like to have been associated with you. Why did you decide to get involved with Unicef?
Well, obviously, my work with UNICEF started over 10 years ago with Manchester United. Like you said, you know, it started in Thailand, where I visited a centre for children that were homeless and needed help in certain situations. So my work with UNICEF started then, and then I had a letter and a phone call from Kofi Annan asking me to be, you know, an ambassador for obviously the organisation, and that was something that obviously I was very proud of, and something that I was honoured to be actually asked to get involved with this. And obviously 10 years on, you know, the work that I've done over the last 10 years, majority it's been children based, because you know that's something that is obviously very passionate. I'm very passionate about, and something that I really love to be involved in. So there's certain situations that I've gone to, you know, in South Africa, in Sierra Leone, and obviously the Philippines pretty recently. So the work that I've done with UNICEF over the years has been something that I've really enjoyed, something that I've been honoured to be part of. But you know, I've set up here, you know, we've set up this fund, the 7 Fund, which has never been done by UNICEF before, and we've been talking about it for quite a few months about how I can make a difference in different ways. And the 7 Fund is something that we are setting up where, you know, we have 7 different regions and 7 different initiatives that we're going to be working on. But that also doesn't alienate all the other work that I do, you know, on the emergency side. You know, when there are emergencies, there are devastations, you know, I will still work on that. But obviously these initiatives are something that we've sat down, discussed with UNICEF, and you know, that really do need urgent attention. That also doesn't alienate the other charities that I've worked with over the years. I do have, obviously, many people coming to me and asking me to be involved in certain charities, and obviously you can't do every single one, but I try to do as many as possible. And over the years I've worked with, you know, the NSPCC, I've worked with the Armed Forces, I've worked with Comic Relief, Sport Relief, and that's something that I'll continue to do. That doesn't, you know, this doesn't, you know, stop me doing those things. It also adds to that. But, you know, the 7 Fund is something that obviously I'm very proud of, UNICEF are very proud of, and it's exciting times.
You know, you're a dad of 4. How hard do you find it when you travel to these places like Sierra Leone and like the Philippines and see kids who, compared to your children's life and their quality of life and their hopes and dreams, that their lives are so different? How hard is that?
I wouldn't say it's hard, because, you know, I was well aware of when I put myself, you know, up for being an ambassador of UNICEF. You have to be aware that you are going to go into certain situations where you're not used to, and you're going to see things that are going to make you emotional. You know, I try to never get emotional on these trips. It's very hard, not in front of people. You know, I really try not to, but I think, you know, when you have 4 children, like I have 4 children at home, they're healthy, they're happy, they do live a good life. I make sure my children are well aware of exactly what I'm doing. You know, my little girl is, you know, 3.5 years old, so she's a little bit too young, but she still knows that Daddy goes away, he helps people, helps children, and then comes back and shows her the pictures of exactly what he's been doing. My eldest, you know, he's almost 16, and he's nearly at the age where he actually can start coming on the trips with me and really understanding it. And I'm lucky that my children really understand exactly what I do and why I'm involved in UNICEF. They understand that I go away and help on different areas and different ways and different children. Obviously, one thing with kids, you can tell them all that you want. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. But what's great about, you know, kids in general, you know, when you show them something visually, they really respond well to that. You know, I love photography. One of the things that I do on every trip that I do with UNICEF is I take my camera everywhere, I take pictures, and then I go back and I show my family, I show my children, and they respond to that. And even this morning, you know, on the school run before I arrived here, you know, I'm taking Brooklyn to school, and he's saying, when can I come on a trip? I understand what you're doing today. When can I start doing stuff? So, you know, my children understand it. Yes, they do have a great life. Yes, they are very privileged, but they also understand exactly what Daddy does. They understand how they can kind of get involved, and they really do want to help.